Hey everyone, Danny here, Red Sand Adventures. So we're getting back at the contractor's cap here today. Time to do a pretty big modification to it. The door was big, but this next step's pretty big as well. So in order for me to keep the tailgate on my truck, I have to shorten this cap. So, and I want to be able to keep the tailgate because it's good for a table. It's good to, it's like an extra lock too. The tailgate has a lock, so when I'm not using the camper, I close the tailgate and lock it so they can't open the back door. So yeah, it's good for that as well. Anyway, I have to shorten it. I worked out like 2 3/4 inches. You can roughly see a line here that I drew. That's just a rough idea where. But first we're going to unscrew this. See if we can take the front panel off. The screw's holding this, so I'm hoping this front sheet will come off. We'll cut this back, and then we'll basically move this section up to here and basically put it back together. So temporarily I'm just using like L brackets on the inside to screw everything back together, and then we'll weld it up later on. So yeah, that's what we're getting into here today. So I'm going to start popping these screws out and see what that reveals, but I'm pretty sure that's going to let me take this off. Got the impact. I don't know how far we're going to get here right now. I just starting to cloud over pretty good. I just hear some thunder in the distance, so I may not get too far. That's not the right socket. See if this one works. That's not it either. Holy. Okay. Bori is watching this, but I'm going to get all these screws out and then we'll check back. Well, folks, it's starting to rain here, so I'm going to shut her down for a minute. Let's see what happens with the rain. I don't know. I might have to continue on with this tomorrow. Okay, just show you here real quick. Got all them screws out, so I'm just pulling this all off. There's that. Yeah, it's pretty much holding the front on. Alright, the rain's starting to come, so I'm going to back her up here for a few minutes at least. Okay, so the rain started. Holy crap, is it ever coming down? There's some thunder. Didn't see any lightning, but there's some hail coming here a minute ago. Okay, welcome back. So the rain finally stopped, which is good. I got that trim piece off. So I guess the next step is basically mark it out. Yeah, take the grinder and we'll cut this whole end right off. And then we'll move like the frame that's behind here. We'll move it ahead. We'll get this marked out and get a grinder set up, and then we'll start cutting. I'm just using a square here to mark how far in, and then I'll just trace that around the whole front of the cap. So we got our line all on. Just gonna get the grinder set up and start cutting it all along this line. Okay, it's time for the big chop. We're calling this the big chop. So I'll pause the video while I do this. It's going to be really loud, so no one wants to listen to that. And yeah, we'll be back in a second. No one wants to listen to that. We'll be back. Okay, folks, the big chop is done. Now the reveal. So, basically the next step, we're going to reuse this whole frame piece. Just move it in. So I'll peel off this. Yeah, I'll peel that off. Put the new frame inside here. Basically put it all back together. Okay, we got this stripped off of the frame. Now the next thing I got to do, since this is an inch thick frame, I have to cut off an inch in here so this can sit inside there. And then basically screw it all back together. Yeah, I'm just going to trim these out 1 inch. See if this fits in. So we got that notched out. See if this is going to sit in there now. Take another piece on there, I gotta pull off. There, fell out. Try that again. Oh, my jumpings. Don't be laughing. It's not funny. Even though it actually is. Okay, one more time. See if this will stay there for me. No. Just want to get it sitting there so I can just measure it again before we put anything together. So that's basically where it's going to be. Just going to grab measuring tape here real quick. "73.5 inches. And it used to be 76.25. That should work out perfect. Awesome. So I'm going to get some screws in it just to kind of hold it in place. And then we'll put the whole trim piece back on. And that should hold everything in place. So I just double measured everything. That should work out perfect. 73.5 inches leaves me with about 1.25 inches between the back of the cap and my tailgate. So then you got like the thickness of the hinges on the door and stuff. So tailgate should close, which is perfect. I guess now it's basically get a few screws in this and get it back in place. And then there's one other modification we got to do on the back by the door. So since I'm pulling it ahead, it has to sit kind of between the walls and in the tail or in the truck bed in a little different spot. So basically down in here I gotta take 1 inch off of that. Alright, we're getting there. Oh, and just so everyone knows, I did get windows to fit in here, so that'll be another video. Stay tuned for that one. So it's going to be another big project on this. Alright, I'm going to throw some screws in this and get it held in place. So we're just using some self-tapping screws here. Marijuana. There we go. Let's do bottom corners. Maybe we'll get one up here in the center. And that should keep everything in place. Gonna be like that, is it? There. So now I'll just go around the whole thing, a whole bunch of screws. And then put the trim piece back on. Okay, folks, I need to go get some more screws. Oh, but that's all in place, so that's good. We're making headway. All right, everyone, we're just getting ready to put the trim piece back on. So we're going to put some caulking all on it, and then a bunch of self-tapping screws. Yeah, we'll get this all sealed up, and basically that mod is done. That's wicked. Oh, we got some caulking, we got self-tapping screws here. Yeah, I'm just going to get the caulking all on here, and then we'll start putting screws to it. So we're just getting the screws into this. Put a whole ton of silicone into that. She should seal up nice. I'm just going to keep going all the way around. You can see I don't know if you can see it or not, but the silicone's like squirting through the holes. So squirting out everywhere. I put lots. Lots and lots. Don't want any leaks, especially on the front. So you're hitting the wind all the time. So I'm just going to keep going with that. Okay. Now the screws in. See the silicone all squeezed out. I'm going to go along and give that a wipe. Yeah, basically it's back together. So, I don't know, I just think like you guys can do this too. It's not rocket science. You have a bit of tool knowledge. You can use a few hand tools. Can't even tell really that anything was done to it, but it's actually like 3 inches shorter. The next thing I gotta do, I was saying earlier, back here by the door. So right here, I have to move this like 1 inch over. I have to cut this out 1 inch, both sides. Same as here. You cut this, move everything over 1 inch, and be all good to fit in the truck. I haven't tested it, so hopefully all my measuring was right. So maybe tomorrow I'll get at trimming the back section, and maybe we'll look at the windows that I mentioned. We do have windows. Stay tuned for that. I think you guys are going to like it. I'm going to wrap up here. I'm just going to clean up that silicone and color good, I would say. I got to, yeah, pretty much there's a little cover that goes over that. It just snaps in place. We'll do that later, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, this was the big chop, we're calling it. And yeah, it went pretty smooth. So appreciate everyone following along. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.